Alright guys, what's up? I'm gonna go through a little Diablo 2 build here for not Path, Diablo, PD2, whatever, Project Diablo, same thing. So this thing utilizes Holy Fire. It's called the Dragondin. So this is a build that stacks 3 Holy Fire auras to do level 44 Holy Fire. Super strong. It's pretty expensive. The full build with the best items here, including the really high torch and all that stuff, is around 35 HRs. But to get started, you really only need 3 items. So the first one is Hand of Justice. Obviously, it's one of the items that give you Holy Fire, and then 2 dragons. So a lot of people are buying the enhanced defense crap. Like, it's not that important. The good thing about Dragon is that there's nothing on it that rolls other than the 5 attributes, and again, that doesn't matter either. So you always get a good roll when you make these Runewords. So there's SurLoSol, that 3.5 HR or 3.25. So it's up there, but it's not that up there like in Infinity. So you want these 3 items. As soon as you have these 3 items, you can switch to the build. So if you're playing Holy Bolt or you're playing some other pace build that's really boring, you can get these 3 Runewords, and you can start playing. Hand of Justice is about the same. It's SurLoSol and with a gem as well. Important thing about this build, it does all fire damage. So you see in the character sheet there, unbuffed with my Magic Find gear, it's 39k. So the portion of this that's physical is probably, I don't know, 500 damage. So you're not doing any physical damage at all. This is pure fire damage. So the next big crucial item is the Endarials. So this is the only helm in the game that can roll 3 sockets and has 2 to all skills and has useful other modifiers. So there's one other helm. It's the Nightwing, the cold one, but everything on it's shit other than the 2 to all skills. So, I mean, you don't want to use that one. That one's cheaper, but if you can get your hands on an Andes, they go for around like gold or Vex clean right now, and you can slam them. I don't recommend slamming them. Just try to buy one. I bought this for 5.5 HR, which I think is a steal. But so the relevant stats here is obviously the attack speed. So you're still a melee build, but you're gonna be trying to at least hit the charge cap for attack speed, which I think is like 49 or something around there. It's pretty low. Huge thing about this is that it gives you max poison res and a ton of poison res. So the only weakness with this build is that it doesn't have any big sources of resistances. However, you're going to be running fire resist all the time pretty much, which just puts you at cap. So the negative fire resist from the Andes doesn't matter for you, so it's actually perfect for you. And Paladins don't get poison resist when they throw on Salvation, so this is something that just really works with the build, and it's a must-have. Obviously, 3 fire facets is the reason why we're getting this. 15% fire skill damage is huge. So I'm at 39k, I'll take it off, and it'll go down to 31k. So this one item gives you almost 10k damage, which is a big portion of your damage. Next is the Seraphs. You don't need a +3, +2, but obviously if you can get it, it's better, because this skill relies pretty much just on stacking as much defensive aura skills as you can, or all skills, to bring up resist fire to as high as it can go, because it's a multiplier afterwards. So any of the multipliers that happen after the initial calculations are like really weighted heavily in your favor. You'll see if I take off fire resist, I lose half my damage almost. So super good. You don't want to put the shitty faucets in here, just buy the good ones. It's worth it. So I would say these 5 items are like core, and this other stuff down here is up to you. So right now I'm just running Magic Find, so chance guards are really good. There is really no item that goes in the glove slots here that really boosts your DPS other than maybe Hellmouth. So it's like such a marginal upgrade that just like it's not even, you shouldn't really try to get these. They're good because they do the minus 10% of the fire res if you get a perfect roll, but you know, it's a negligible increase in damage. It has fire absorb, which is nice. It'll heal you a bit, and the procs obviously scale off of your aura, so they're gonna be doing way more damage than they would on any other character, but they still don't do anything. So, but other than that, there's nothing that increases your damage. So I like to use just the chance guards. The 1 mana after each kill is actually super useful, and obviously, you know, you want Magic Find because these pieces have nothing. Next is the belt. For Magic Find, obviously get a gold wrap. It also has attack speed, which coincidentally like puts us at our cap, so it's like a really good item for this build, not just for Magic Find. Obviously, the highest DPS is going to come from an Arachnids, only because it has +1 all skills. If you're trying to get this, you can ignore the faster cast rate and buy a cheap one. Again, you just want the 1 all skills. It's the only item that has it though in the game, so you're kind of stuck with it. And then you get your rings. So I don't have Cannot Be Frozen, so I'm wearing a Ravenfrost. That's the only reason. And an Angel ring just for Magic Find. And the boots, I was wearing War Traps, but I slammed these, and it's pretty much the same Magic Find. But I also get a bunch of other stats that are relevant. You can up these boots. These are Myrmidons, so you're going to get way more defense. And the thing about this build is you end up with a ton of strength for free because of these 2 Runewords. They give you strength based on character level. So I'm getting 68 here. And the Andes gives you 28 strength, or is whatever, it gives you 25 to 30. So you end up getting a bunch of free strength. So yeah, no problem upping these to the full. They cost 208 to equip. So that's, you know, the Magic Find setup. I went over a DPS setup. So you can throw a Saj on there, and the Arachnids, you know, and the Hellmouth, or if you want to use Drax or something, you can. Be aware though that you don't do any physical damage, so lifesteal doesn't matter for you at all, as it just doesn't do anything. And there's no life after, or there's no life on hit stuff other than 1 shitty rune word that you're not going to use. So there's really no way to regain life with this build, but it's fine because everything dies right away. And you know, I would switch this out for probably a Wisp or another any ring that gave 1 to all skills, the BK ring or the Saj. I just don't have one right now, and you need to slam these with Cannot Be Frozen, which is really hard to do. I slammed like 70 boots now, and I haven't got it yet. So obviously you'd use that because these boots give you 2 to defensive auras, which basically gives you 2 skills to this. So we're at 96 without them, and we're at 100. So it's 4% more damage, which turns into quite a bit when you know, consider how it all adds together. So these boots alone are giving you 2k damage. So you don't want to skip out on them. They're really cheap. But again, you could use whatever for these bottom items. They really just kind of complement it. They don't define the build. Let's go to charms here. So defensive auras, obviously, because your goal is to get resist fire as high as you can get it. And then, like I said, this build it struggles with all resist. So you can see my totals here. I'm still lacking lightning, and I even have like some decent, like I have slam fire res on the Saj, and this has cold res. So even with that, I go below. So sometimes what I do is I use this this belt if I'm doing like a really hard tier 3 map, and I want to hit the caps. This belt has 15 all res, and you know, you can get up there. This is satisfactory. Like, you don't need to be totally cap. 81 is fine. It's above cap anyways. So yeah, that's that. And then obviously you want a torch and an Annie. For stat points, what you're going to do is once you have everything and you know how much strength you're going to get from your gear, just calculate what you need to get to exactly 208 strength. I got a bit over because didn't do it right, but you want at least 200 dex so that you hit the 75% block rate when you use Holy Shield. Around level 93, it's like 200 or 195. Rest goes in Vitality, you don't touch energy. Let's look at the skills. So your main skill is Holy Fire. You're never gonna actually use Holy Fire. It comes from your gear. I guess I should talk about that now. So if you're not aware, if you're wearing any gear that gives you an aura, it doesn't matter if the levels of the aura are different. So you can see here it's level 16 on the Hand of Justice and it's level 14 on the Dragon. They add together regardless. So things like chance on hit to proc stuff, they would only add together if they were the same level, and it would add together the percent chance to proc it. But for auras, they stack. So this is a level 44 Holy Fire. And so Holy Fire has 3 synergies, Blessed Aim, which is here, you max that, which also gives you a nice passive attack rating, but only really matters for bosses because you get ignores target defense on the Hand of Justice, which is super useful. So you're never going to miss regular mobs. Well, I mean, you'll miss 5% of the time, but you're at the hit cap. And then next you want Resist Fire, obviously, and Salve. So the good thing about Resist Fire too is that increases your max fire res. A lot of mobs in the game that do a lot of damage are usually fire, so you're pretty much immune to fire damage when you have this on. Next, you're going to go 1 point down to here because you do want Redemption to occasionally just switch to get all your mana back. And I like to go 2 points into Meditation. That way, well, actually, I just went 1 point. But yeah, if you get the 1 point in there, you get the mana back after each kill, which is, it's a big deal actually. It keeps you up at full mana most of the time. So max Salve, max Resist Fire, max Blessed Aim. And then obviously for combat skills, you need to be doing some stuff. So the main thing we use in this build is Charge, but you definitely want Joust because you can use that to jump around. You want Zeal for bosses, and you want Holy Shield. Just 1 point, it's enough. Like I said, you don't do physical damage, so this stuff doesn't matter. And then you end up with having about 35 skills, or not 35, like 27 left over. And the best thing to do with it that I've found is to just max Conviction. So there are a few mobs in the tier maps that are immune to your Conviction aura, even with like a super high level. And I've tested this all the way up to like level 38 using different skillers, and it still doesn't break their immunities. So this is enough to break a mob that becomes fire immune because it's fire enchanted. So the occasional time you'll come across an elite pack, it'll be fire enchanted, and this will get rid of it. If a mob is immune to fire, you do nothing to it, basically. So you want to have this so you can toggle it on when you come across something like that and just kill it. For the mobs that are just immune, it doesn't matter because you can't break it anyways. So yeah, the rest of the points, just putting Holy Shield increases your defense and block chance. So weapon swap is pretty standard. Just call to arms and then something with skills. So obviously you could use a Haas here, but I don't have one, so just whatever. And basically, you're going to mainly be using Resist Fire and Charge. And occasionally you'll turn on Conviction when you come across something that's immune. Use Redemption when you're out of mana. I like to keep Cleanse down here in case I get like a bad curse or I got nothing to do and I can just get rid of my curses. And then Salve in case you need it for whatever reason. So let's take a look. I'm just going to jump in this map. So I'll show you the affixes. So it's more density and nothing that's really bad for us. So you come in, standard, cast everything twice, you get the bonus, throw on your Holy Fire or Resist Fire, and just start charging around. That's pretty much how it goes. You're going to one-shot 99% of the things that you come across. I will point out too, I won't attack. I'll just show you how much damage the radial does. So you don't even really need to attack. You can just walk around and shit dies. So That's how much damage you're doing. The charge is really just used to get you in range. So here's something that you can't break. These little guys with the hats. If you do want to kill them, you just throw on Holy Freeze and you come over here and you just heal them, but it's a waste of time. Anyways, let's get back to this. So you do have some vulnerabilities to magic damage, just like everyone else, but there's really no way around that unless you're going to go like a really tanky build. With this gear on, which is again the max damage stuff, I don't have as many resistances. So there's that. And again, you can see the kill speed here is like very high. What I end up doing is I just kind of keep going, and at this point I really don't pick much up, but if you get low on mana, there's so many corpses on the ground that you can just toggle a redemption aura and you'll get your mana back pretty much instantly. If you come across like a bunch of guys who do like heavy magic damage and you're taking damage, you can just throw on salve. You still pretty much one-shot everything. You could probably just leave salve on the whole time if you're not comfortable, but you see right now I have salve on. I'm doing 10k less, but it really doesn't matter. At this point, you're just totally outscaling the content. And yeah, that's the that's typically how it goes. And with this build, you can get, you know, I'm at 211 magic fine, so that's enough considering that the map adds some magic fine. I've found that I've done some testing with like 700 or 500, and if you want to find bases, the sweet spot's probably around 250. If you really just want to find like unique rings, the higher you go the better, but really doesn't matter. The whole point of maps here is just the density, so you're going to be trying to find high runes as fast as possible by killing as many mobs as you can. I'm just going to work my way over to the boss here, so you see it die. See how quick it is. So if you've never played charge before, when you're charging, you're not considered moving. You're considered casting. So your chance to block doesn't go down. It actually stays the same as if you're standing still. So if you're bad at charging, you'll end up walking a lot. See how I'm like walking here? You can fix that by, you know, just pressing shift or whatever your attack button is set to. Or you can really just try to aim at the mobs. Usually after you charge the first time, you're going to clear a big chunk and you can just chain charge off stuff. So, you know, you're going to come in here, and again, you can use the teleport move around. I like to kill everything around so I don't get like killed by random lightning shit. And go in here and just turn on Zeal and kill him. So yeah, that's the build. I haven't talked about the Merc. I think if you wanted to min-max more, you could grab a Merc with Beast and get the Fanaticism aura, and you'd probably attack faster. You would do marginal damage upgrade, but it wouldn't really matter. Yeah, that's the Dragondin. So it's definitely better than Dream because your range of damage is not as variable. So if you throw on a Dream, if you do dual Dream, you're going to be doing like 1,000 to, I think it's like 60,000. Most of the time you're going to be doing less than 40,000 though because of RNG. So, and also for some reason the lightning resist mobs, the ones that are immune, for some reason tend to have more resist and don't get broken as easy as fire does. So yeah, I don't think there's anything else to say. Yeah, try out the build. It's really fun. It's the funnest way to play Paladin, I think. And right now with the map system, there's, you know, you can just speed clear through tier 1, and T3 you can do as well. You do have to put on your resist gear, try to hit that resist cap, because the issue with T3, which I'll show you, is that there are some mobs in there. I'll just open a plain one. In T3 there's the mobs from Act 4. Can't remember their name. But basically you need to keep conviction on the whole time, so you're only doing 12k damage, because these guys right here, they're immune to fire. And if you see you just do nothing when something's immune to fire. So you want to throw on conviction, break their immunities, and you still, it takes like 2 or 3 hits now, but entirely possible to speed clear T3 maps. Not a big deal. And if you can min-max a bit, so if there's none of these mobs in the pack, you can throw on resist fire again, and you'll just do more damage. Like these guys over here aren't immune, so you can leave on resist fire. Neither of these guys, they all die in one hit. And then when you come to a pack like this, you just throw on conviction and move along. So again, this is a regular T3 map, so these guys aren't very strong, but the resistances that they get don't go up unless you get a mod on your map that increases it. So here we go. Here's an example I was looking for. So he's a fire resistant mob, and he's also normally fire immune, so he won't get broken by your conviction. So what you do here is you throw on Holy Freeze, but in this case he's immune to cold too. And then your Holy Freeze does a bit of damage because you have half the synergies for it, and you just zeal him down. But in this case he's immune to both, so it's just unfortunate. But if you really wanted to, you could kill all these mobs that are even fire immune. You have a little bit of Crushing Blow and Deadly Strike, so it's not impossible. Yeah, I think that's all I wanted to show. So that's the build. Try it out. Let me know how it goes.